are traveling with the OM Mystic. Time to tap in now. You are now tapped in with the OM Mystic. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer.
In the basis of our reality, the same algorithms that run Google, Facebook, and the rest of them are embedded in the reality. So it is a self-fulfilling technology. They've taken what is the mycelial network, which is the internet of the earth, mycelium, fungi, mushrooms. And that knowledge, because the mushroom mycelium is sentient, what we see as the mushroom is the reproductive portion of the mushroom, the stem and the cap. The cap being female and the stem being male. Them together makes little mushrooms.
You have to die in order for you to actually live. Now hear me out. An ego death is a complete loss of subjective self-identity. Ego death is basically your old self dying. All of your beliefs, your thoughts, the way that you see life, the way that you view yourself is all gone now. Because you as a person is nothing but your thoughts, your experiences, and beliefs. When that dies, you are now nothing but a body. And when that happens, you're now able to recreate yourself and finally live how you want to. You didn't give yourself any experiences, you didn't give yourself any thoughts or any beliefs. You were just the receiver of everything. So until you have an ego death, you really don't know what you're doing in this life shit. Most people have an ego death through lots of meditation or psychedelics. It shows us how we really don't exist. We are just a product of our circumstances in life. And with the ego death, it's like you're born again. You're able to recreate your life. So until you experience that, you're not actually living. You will see when it happens. I love y'all.
My ego's dying right now, and I'm having a tough day. No, I'm not having a tough day. My ego's having a tough day. My soul's thriving. We're good. We're good. I created this space for myself so I could fucking heal. So we're good.
You are traveling with the OM Mystic. Time to tap in now. You are now tapped in with the OM Mystic. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer.
Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
You are now tapped in with the OM Mystic.
My mind right, money right, yeah. Ready for war, nigga, we ready for y'all.
You are now tapped in with
Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
time to tap in now.
Let me see those hands in the air.
You are now tapped in with the OM Mystic.
I project myself outside of myself and I talk to myself when I'm speaking.
We back. We back, man. This is a combination of education and entertainment. It's the daily energy reading. I'm your host, the Hood Mystic. You go check it out. The idea here is to feel good about being yourself, whoever yourself is. So the problem is you're not giving yourself enough credit. So here I am giving you the round of applause. You deserve it, and you deserve everything and more. Man, I'm so happy to be here with y'all. One's in the chat if y'all can hear me okay. All right, all right, all right. Today we're going to be talking about the new moon. The title of this video is The Light Within You, because we're talking about the new moon in Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. So before I get into what I want to get into, let's take care of some business. First business is the mystery school. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. It is a spiritual social media platform, introducing some courses in the near future, just doing everything sequentially. But the idea with the social media spiritual platform is nothing without the people. So it's free to join, it doesn't cost you anything. The only thing that I ask is that you post something either about yourself, about spirituality, what's happening in the news, what's happening in your damn neighborhood. Any conversation that is a real conversation, you're going to post it on Instagram and Facebook and nobody's going to see it. You're going to get the same comments or no comments at all, no likes, no engagement. Why don't you tap into the mystery school where you can post it? People will read it, engage with it. I'm in the mystery school. I'm posting every day, posting more. And I say all of this to say the only thing that I'm asking for is participation. That don't cost you no money. It barely costs you any effort. The same stuff that you post on IG, just post it in the mystery school. And the difference between posting on IG, you're going to get little to no engagement. When you post on the mystery school, everybody gets to see it. So, with all that being said, click the link in the description. Make sure you tapped in, get your smudge kit. Make sure you burning herbs every day, burning resin every day, saging before you go to bed every single day. Stop playing with this shit. One's in the chat. One's in the chat. If you're not playing with your spirituality, you playing with your herbs, you playing with the different stones and resins and different modalities. If you don't have any of the tools, go ahead and visit columbianexchange.com or simply click the link in the description, get you a smudge kit. We'll put you all together. I'm throwing in extra stuff just because that's the type of guy I am. I'm going to look out for you. All you got to do is tune in, tap in, click the link in the description, get your smudge kit. I'm telling y'all, this is the last week that the book bundle is going to be $44. I promise you, it's going back up to its regular price of $88. Okay. In reference to, we just sold out because the price is so low. So if you bought a book bundle, give me to the 17th. I'll be shipping those back out to you. I appreciate your patience, and I also appreciate y'all support. It's been almost 6 years of being an author, and every day somebody buys a book. And you don't know what that means to me. That means that, I'm doing something that at first I didn't think I could do. I didn't think that I could actually write a book. I remember writing publishing companies and things of that nature, and they're like, you need to pay us to publish it, or this isn't our speed. And then time and energy evolved, and I was able to join Amazon. They published it for me, so I became a self-published author. And with that being said, that changed my life. So why am I on YouTube? I'm on YouTube to give back. I'm not necessarily on here to push or promote anything, because the reality is God has been so good to me in real life that the normal mode for me is to give back. So if you check my channel, it's over 1,500 videos of information, science, occultism, spirituality, spiritual development, basic library or encyclopedia of spiritual information. And I do that all because I love the human existence. I love people. I love myself. And if I'm really in the mode of love, then I would be in the mode of education. When we tap into our Saturnian aspects, I'll be turning 40 this year. meaning that, the younger male would be more likened to Mars. The older male would be more likened to Saturn, more mature, more wise. And because of this, now it is my time to really instruct and lead and guide. I used to think that it was normal to just love your children, right? Take care of them, buy them things, support them in any type of way. But the reality that I've learned is that the best thing to do is to actually discipline and structure and teach, right? If you really love your kids, you're willing to teach them, give them advice, and show them how discipline is the actual reward. Uh, the normal would be like, I just get my kid everything, my kid is spoiled. But in essence, you're not teaching him the overall premise of the energy, which we'll be discussing, which is Gemini energy. So as I share the screen, this is the educational part, the part that, you begin to take notes and not because for me, right? Somebody, we were reading books at the office yesterday. And the thing that I say to anybody that's reading a book is that do not read a book passively. Do not listen to content on YouTube passively. Understand that education is good. Education is going to help you. How are you going to learn? By learning to take good notes. When you take good notes, the information goes into your subconscious mind, into your HD RAM, right? Or your heart. I forget what to call it. But imagine if I have a flash drive and there's only so much memory that this flash drive could take. Well, that's your conscious mind, a basic flash drive. Your overall subconscious mind is the entire computer. And imagine that the computer, you can hold an infinite amount of memory on it. So if you're reading, you're just basically uploading information to the flash drive. So ultimately, things are going to happen throughout the day, even if nothing happens, that the thing that you just read is going to exit out of the flash drive and is not going to enter into the mainframe. That's why I don't read a lot of books, right? It might seem like I read a lot of books, but I only reference, and if you've been following this channel for a while, I only reference about the same 20 books over and over and over again because I don't need to learn everything, especially if I don't have what I need to have down pat, right? If I don't actually grasp Kundalini or chakras, I don't need to start reading about metaphysics in the tarot. I need to figure out my root chakra, and therefore I'm going to read the same books or the same concepts over and over again so it can get into my computer. Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat if you can understand that analogy. Basically, do not read, do not study without taking notes if you want the information to stick. And this is not my information. If you click the link in the description, and actually, that will be not true. I'll put it in the description now, though. Give me 1 second. Give y'all the article so y'all can tap in. All right. Saving that. All right. So the link is in the description now. If you don't see it, you may just have to refresh the page or just visit my Substack if you're already a subscriber. At the end of this article, there are links or sources that I reference, and of course, good reference books, good websites. A dope book, The Light in Oneself, I think people should tap into. I also give the PDF somewhere in the website as well. or somewhere on the article as well. But anyways, the topic of discussion is going to be Gemini. So I imagine this conversation to be in steps, a step pyramid that was going to ascend to a point. But we have to get the basis or the foundation of the conversation. So this goes unarguable. This is a fact. When people tell you new moon in Cancer, then it's going to be convoluted. So my foundation to this conversation, to this education, is new moon in Gemini. The reason that I say that is because when you look at a sidereal chart or an astronomy chart, the new moon is in Gemini. One's in the chat if you can bear witness to the sun and the moon being in Gemini. No spiritual person is going to be able to recreate the astronomics of the new moon. In all astronomical representation and understanding, the new moon is in Gemini. Period, point blank. So that is our foundation. And since this is our foundation, the new moon in Gemini, then we talk about what does Gemini mean and what does Gemini represent. Gemini is an air sign, and an air sign deals with your mental. So when we talk about a new moon and a time to set intentions in reference to an air sign, it is completely about your mindset. Your mindset is the way that your body will go, the way that your life will go, the way that your experience will go. So when your mindset is in a space where it is not sure if it is ebbing or flowing, waxing or waning, then the mind is confused. Are you moving towards death? Are you moving away from death towards life, towards source? Gemini is Latin for twins. Twins represent the human experience and the soul, the ego and the consciousness. One twin goes forward and the other twin goes backwards. So quite frankly, the way that this society and this culture is set up, that it fixates and focuses and all that it thinks about is the ego. So therefore, a person is just going forward, trying to live a good life, trying to accomplish something in the material world. However, it's very confusing, especially in this day and age, when we try to interject mindsets that will even get that reality for you. Because if I see you got it and I'm on Instagram and I see 1 million people got it according to my algorithm and I don't have it, then I'm willing to do anything to get it. Now, you don't know who's actually there. You don't know who's faking to get there. You don't know whose mama gave it to them. You don't know nobody's circumstances as to how they manifested what they have. And you don't even know if it's real because it's the internet. And even in real life, you'll realize a lot of people just hung around they parent until they died, got some inheritance money. Now they telling you how to live life. One's in the chat. They telling you how to get money, like really just be on somebody's will. And then they coaching courses telling you how they made a fortune, but really is from a trust fund or some shit like that. So if you on the outside looking in, you willing to follow any person that's telling you a good deal because your ego is running the show. Now, since Gemini represents the twins, and when we talk about astrology, we're talking about the succession of the fetus into a baby. We're also talking about a magical process. That is, you come from nothing into something. You are a light, a consciousness that creates. You were once a sperm and an ovary, and from that creation, you created yourself, mind, body, and soul. So, Gemini is the point where we are developing our mental for the overall outcome. And where people kind of overlook it, they only focus on the outcome. But when we do our new moon intention work, and best believe there's a worksheet included with it. This is a paid article, but it's gonna I want to give it to the paid people first because they paid their money, right? And then I'm gonna release it for the new moon because I feel like this information is vital. But at the same time, if you premium, you premium, right? I can't forsake the people who put their hard-earned money on the line, right? So the paid subscription, y'all get it first. Tomorrow the full article drops. But when the full article drops, there's going to be a worksheet. This worksheet is not for me. Every time I ask people, do you remember your intention from the new moon? No, I don't even remember it. We're talking about what you want out of life. You don't remember what you want out of life. How about you journal? If you are a magical being. So when we talk about Gemini, we're talking about a mindset that is going to manifest. Think how powerful that is. Think how powerful that is. Your mindset can manifest who you become. So the tricky part of the Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, the minor tarot cards that rule Gemini, it's a lot of delusion in our thoughts and in our minds because our ego is in the main cockpit saying, we know what we need to do. All I need to find is the right teacher to teach me how to do what I already know what I need to do. Why you ain't done it yet? It's multiple messages that come under the guise of new moon in Gemini. It is like, you know, when the Kabbalion talks about the all is mind and the mind is all, like, I feel like the possibilities of taking this energy seriously for any person is astounding. And I personally would love to see during this time, I started working on my mindset of becoming the person that is going to accomplish all that I want to accomplish. Like say for instance, I want to just go open my door. I don't say, man, I need to figure out a mantra to open up my door. I need to do a spell and a ritual to open up that door because I already have the mindset that I can get up and open my door. It's literally millions of things that you do effortlessly that you don't even recognize. Literally millions. Effortlessly because you recognize that you are that person that is to come. Now, when we set an intention, we could utilize the energy to expand and really to examine, not to be so based upon an assumption, but really get into the energy of an inner light. So, in order for me to explain the energy, I have to be a little bit of anecdotal in reference to an experience yesterday that had just been reaching a crescendo of wow, the spirit world is real. One's in the chat if you've had deep spiritual experiences in the past week. I'm talking about ancestors. I mean, and it's so interesting. The spiritual influence has been so strong for so long, and it only gets more intense. And so I'm sitting back looking at the world, and I really want to have a conversation with people, but it's like I would rather do these daily energy readings so I could just be like, yeah, man, this spiritual shit is real, and I don't even want you to argue with me. I don't even want to hear a different opinion. No, that shit ain't real. That shit ain't that. That's mumbo jumbo, hocus pocus. No, bro. No. I, and my heart goes out to those who are in negative circumstances and negative mindsets. But I mean, at a certain level, wherever you find yourself, you need to stop focusing on where you find yourself and get within yourself, but then also understand the spiritual influences and the spiritual power, and also your ability to conjure during this time. So I say a mindset that has to be recognized, that has to be challenged. If you think any ill about yourself, start to examine it and pull it apart. Start tearing it down. Start killing it. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. So the story. We work out, we go to the store, we eat dinner, then we go driving down 12 Mile in Berkeley and drive past the bookstore and then bust a Yui. It's like 5:50 at this point. No, 5:45. The bookstore closed at 6. So we just pull up, skirt, and this is the Mayflower Bookshop in Berkeley, Michigan. If you in Michigan, you need to go. They open Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. If you live in Michigan and you spiritual, go to the like you are. If you in Michigan and you already went, put a 1 in the chat, comment on the video, right? But if you in Michigan, you in fucking Indiana, fuck, you in Ohio, bitch. Like what the fuck? If you in Kentucky, nigga, if you surrounding this bitch, you need to go to the Mayflower Bookshop because that shit is amazing. Right? So we go to the Mayflower Bookshop. It's about to close, and he low-key pressing me like, store about to close. The store about to close. And I'm like, okay, just let me know when you want me to leave, and I'll leave. But while I'm in there, I'm getting hit with all like the spirits is like woo, woo, woo. Madame Blavatsky, Rudolph Steiner, like up in there, like, yeah, like I'm like, whoa, I'm like kind of having like sensory overload. And so I like it was so crazy. It's a bookstore and it's books everywhere. It's books like it's bookshelves, and then it's like books on the floor, like to my chest, high books. So meaning that imagine like it's a bookshelf and it's like a stack of books in front of the bookshelf. The books on the bookshelf, you would have to move the whole stack of books to even see what's there. Like it is, but it's all spiritual books. 115% spiritual books. The spirits is just wham, wham. And imagine a bookstore, right? With 1,000,000 books, but every book is like for you and shit. like this book's like, get me, get me, get me, get me, get me, get me. I'm like, I ain't getting no book. Fuck y'all. I don't need it. I'm like, no, like I ain't getting no book. But it was this one book that I seen that I was like, I'll just look it up online, called The Light Within Oneself. And that was just have been my meditation all week. Like I was feeling anxiety when I woke up around Monday, just like woke up, I felt anxiety in my body. And then did a short monism meditation, where monism is that everything is one thing. All substance, from your car to your house to your body to the plants, is from one substance. And that substance is in you. So I relaxed my body and I tuned into my solar plexus and I just had instant enlightenment. I was just like, okay, woo. Like and the anxiety left my body. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just follow, moment to moment. And so all week I've been fasting, lost a lot of weight, like been feeling actually great for real. And it's like all because I really reflecting on the truth, the light within oneself. So back to going into the bookstore and him telling me that he kicking me out. So by this time it's like 6 and he kicking me out. And so my wife, she had a book. She wanted to get a book. So we paying for the book, paid for the book. We about to leave because he kicking us out. And then he was like, you guess who was in here? He started breaking into a story. Guess who was in here? He bought like $6,000 worth of books. I'm like, who? He like, Drake. I'm like, okay. So he just gets into the spiel of Drake getting 6,000 worth of books from the Mayflower, like 6 luxury backpacks. And he goes into, like, it was another book, like a whiskey and tobacco book, that Drake had got, a leather bound book. And it was some shit in the book about this liquor company called Virginia Black. And it was like a coincidence that this was like the original liquor and tobacco book. It wasn't even a spiritual book. And I told you, everything in the store is 100% spiritual. So Drake gets this book on tobacco and whiskey, and the company that's in the book is Drake's company. And so the dude who owns the shop, he goes in to tell me, yeah, Drake is really psychic for real. Like this nigga, he into this shit. I'm like, oh yeah. Like it kind of made me feel like in some weird way, I felt validated. Like, got it. And I was trying to tell people, like, when we did the initiates, like, it's 5 pillars of hip hop. And one of the pillars of hip hop is knowledge. So, my introduction to all spirituality come by the way of music. I remember Common talking about Yemaya and Oshun, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm a Christian at this time. So all of this knowledge is really hip hop. So I was reflecting on that. The bookstore owner told me, he was like, you know who else came to the store? I was like, who? He was like, Dick Gregory. I was like, man, shut the front door. Dick Gregory used to come in here and spend thousands. He said some other dude, ZZ Top, some other musician, they used to compete with each other. Who could spend the most money in the bookstore type shit. And so all of this got me to reflecting and just be like, okay, like, yeah, motherfuckers can say what they want to say about this spiritual shit, but we'll be up in the club dancing to a nigga, you know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, this is my jam, you know what I'm saying? But lo and behold, the person that you jamming to is a fucking occult magician, sorcerer, doing high level spells on your ass. So, say all of this to say, I know for a fact that Drake is just a character being played on TV, and the real Aubrey Graham is a goddamn master magician. I know for a fact. All right. So that was just my little quick story time in reference to this Gemini energy letting you know that this spirit is real. Because I already told y'all how Master Kalindi channeled channeled a guy who was telling me about macro dosing. He left, double back, like something is telling me to tell you about Kalindi. Have you ever heard of him? I'm like, no. He like, you should watch his videos. And I'm like, sure. And I watched his videos, and it's like my dad is talking to me. It's almost like perfect synchronicity. So I'm only sharing these stories for people in reference to this is the type of energy, perfect synchronicity with the mind. And I would say the key is being receptive, being open to spirit and spiritual things. The way that we shift our consciousness is by not focusing on the external. Because when you focus on the external, all you ever get to focus on is your problems and whatever is you need to pay rent or whatever the case may be. So utilizing this time, uh focus on the inside and the rent will be paid magically is the concept. So the best way I like to do these is to simply go through the article to give us understanding and overstanding and reference the links that are in the article just so you could get a more robust understanding of the energy. But always remember, if you just want to read through it, do a quick skim or take your own notes, you want to figure out what these links are, you could just tap into the Substack, $5 a month, 55 for the whole year, or you can join free and just wait a day or two so you can have your copy. So the new moon takes place at 20 degrees in sidereal Gemini. The Sabian symbol for this is a cafeteria. So when you think about a cafeteria, it is one person, and either it is multiple items that you can choose from or people telling you what you need to eat. But ultimately, this is something that represents materialism or having more options than you actually need. And so this is a person that have 50 purses, 1,000 pairs of shoes, outfits up the ass. You got to begin to ask yourself, what's the point? It's a certain level to life where people feel that they are identified by the clothing that they wear. And this is not to say that you should dress bummy, right? But this is also to warn people that that mindset is not going to lead to actually anything, because you're never going to judge character or build character by moving through who wears the best outfits or who has the most stuff, right? You'll find some amazing people that don't have a lot because they don't need a lot. They don't want a lot. They rather be minimalist, right? Because the good thing about money is having it. The bad part about money is spending it and not getting any return on it. So when people have a lot of things, they usually get it from a paycheck, right? They either work, get good money, or get a contract, and they have this money and they can just buy things. And then they buy things, they get another check, they buy things. This is just normal for people. But an entrepreneurial mindset where, if say for instance you're selling socks, you want to you know that people come to you for socks. Eventually in a year, people just know you as the sock man. So to you, socks are money. So if you're not buying socks, you might feel like you're wasting money on everything you buy, because every time you buy socks, that converts to cash. So what some entrepreneurs do, they get so addicted to inventory because the inventory is the cash flow that they don't even think, oh, I should buy new clothes, because new clothes take, one is not better than the other. But when we talk about Gemini energy, where we're usually split, we want to kind of get a focus, right? We want to get a real focus. So, what are the dangers of superabundance? If we take in more than we can digest, then wastage that occurs is a potential problem. How many apps are there for phones? As of May 2024, there are over 4 million apps available for download across iOS. How many YouTube videos are there? As of January 2024, there are 14 billion publicly visible videos on YouTube. So then that begs the question, do you journal? Do you like, it's a way to be in the energy of Gemini where it's the summertime and people are doing things and your schedule is full. And, you know, if you going out every weekend having fun, that's money being spent, you know, or you got a lot of homeboys or a lot of friends and you got a wide social circle, but they ain't on nothing for real. They just want to have fun and kick it because they got good jobs and they got money to spend, but you want to grow, you want to do something different, you want to, get generational wealth. You know, these things require a level of discipline. So when you talk about the 20 degrees energy of, say, the 20 degrees of Gemini, from 20 degrees to 30 degrees, that's ruled by the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is all about cutting niggas off. Painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, crisis, right? It's all about being in them type of situations that's like, whatever, like shit that you don't even really need. So you could think about it as personality traits, or you could be in, beef with people, mad at people because they want to go out. Like, it's not about judging people because it's so easy to project during these times. During these times, if you're a human being and you have a mind, that's what you need to focus on, your mental health. And if a person is taking you out of your mental health, you need to figure out a way to create space between you and that person. That's why another energy of Gemini is the lovers, having somebody to rely upon when you need space. Because love is not done by yourself, especially when you reference children, because a lot of times it be your children that take the peace out of your life. But when you have a lover, then it becomes a place where you like, all right, you need to go with your dad. All right, you need to go with your mom. I can't deal with them right now because they really getting me to a point where my peace is being disturbed and I need to go work out. I need to take a walk. You're a human being. And so when people take you out of your peace, it's easy to say it's their fault. But you not taking care of yourself, it's your fault. You not actually understanding your soul is your fault. You not meditating is your fault. You not having time for yourself is your fault. Another concept of this time is boundaries, right? Boundaries allow you to get to where you need to get to as this energy is actually trining Saturn, right? The limits on the time and energy you spend with people that's not helping you get nowhere. You got real goals and you will actually sacrifice your goals to make other people happy. more than not, that's going to drain you of your energy, drain you of your soul force energy. And at the end of the day, that's going to be your whole life. I'm only saying that because I've seen it. I've seen it countless of times. People will literally suck the soul out of you. Remember, I told you, it's people that will linger. If you're an old person and you got kids, like you 60, 70, 80, and you got kids, and your kids just hanging around you, waiting on your ass to die, that shit crazy. That shit happening, though. This how fucked up this world is. So we talk about materialism, having all of these options and not being able to achieve all of these options, because who the fuck could? Who could do a million things at once, right? There's 4 million apps. I can't download 4 million apps on my computer, let alone digest the app. And I'm sure all 4 million apps say, oh, you need this app. If you don't have this app, you're going to be fucked up in life. You're not going to be able to do nothing if you don't have this app. So I can't get it. Therefore, I'm miserable. I can't afford. I got a million subscriptions. I don't even realize like where this subscription come from. One's in the chat. You got 20 subscriptions. You ain't know where the fuck they came from. How I got 5 Netflix accounts. That don't even make sense. So having all of these options, that makes us become miserable. And what do we know about misery? Misery loves company. Misery loves company. So the spirit of materialism is a miserable existence, period. Now, when we talk about the outside of materialism, is not to be broke, but it is to understand and be literate and be prepared and work towards your financial goals. So what that looks like is every single day making baby steps. Every single day learning, educating yourself, like every single day. Because like I said, you could be the person that has a mansion, that has a nice car, but you figured it out, right? You figured it out step by step how to get it. And people are going to see you and say, oh, look at Charmaine with her Lexus and her nice house. I want to get that too. So they'll run to the bank. Can I get a $50,000 loan? And so Chanika, she got a car and a Lexus too. Like, but Charmaine and Tanika are not the same. It looks the same. Nice house, nice car, but one paid cash because she understood business and finance and investing, and the other person took out a loan from the bank. And the other person who seen Tanika do it, she said, oh, I'm going to scam bank accounts, right? I'm going to do tax fraud. I'm going to sell drugs, right? So I can be like Tanika. But she don't know that Tanika want to be like Charmaine. Nobody asked Charmaine how she got it. We just seen that she had it, and we said that we want it. That's a miserable existence. Like, people cannot help but to judge themselves in reference to other people. But then we have to like scale it back, say, what is the mindset? What is the disposition? Are you undeniably yourself? Are you so much tuned in and tapped into yourself that what another person got going on does not fucking matter? Or does it hurt you a little bit? Because in reference to the bookshop, in reference to the book, The Light Within Oneself, and the meditation that I had Monday was the realization that I had a light within myself that I could always reflect on, that wasn't dependent upon nobody. You have a light within yourself that isn't dependent on anybody. So when we bring it back to Gemini, and one is being the representation, the ego, the person that I am, but the other twin is the soul. That is something that you should be able to reflect upon. And that soul is the inner light within oneself that nobody gave you. Nobody can take it away. So if I knew now, then I would have been did all of the shit that I wanted to do in life. Because I spent a lot of my life looking for it in people, trying to find it in something, in somewhere. I didn't realize that I had the light within me, and the light was powerful. It could get me into any door. It can open up, it could remove any block. I could be in a level of abundance and prosperity. Money would constantly flow to me. All I had to do was reflect on my light. One in the chat. You have a light within yourself. That's the message of Gemini. And so I'm like, yeah, I get the astrology of it, but oh no, this is the reality. That light within oneself. If I said it before, I'm sorry, but I don't even remember even saying nothing like this before. That's how new the soul feels to me. I don't even feel like I ever said the word the soul before. Whenever, from a moment to moment, where I reflect upon my solar plexus chakra and I reflect on that light, I don't give a fuck where I'm at, what I'm doing. I'm just reflecting on that light. Man, that is powerful. To know that nobody, and I can't even give you my light. All I can do is hope that you find your light within yourself. I don't care if you got a nice ass. I mean, I see that chocolate ass looking scrumptious, but I don't give a fuck. I mean, I get it, I see it, I recognize it, but nope. I'm gonna need you, require you, discipline you. Some of y'all like that little kinky shit. Anyways, limit you to the fact that you must reflect upon your soul. New moon trying Saturn. Okay. Even the people with financial success still experience limitations and dissatisfaction. I sometimes wonder, do basketball players really want to run up and down the court for real? For billionaires and they getting millions? And then the way, like, if you don't perform, they getting rid of your ass? Most professional contracts, how long? Let's Hood Mystic Investigations. The segues. All right, so how long is the average NBA contract? Oh, that's not an easy one to figure out. I'm probably figuring out a way to word it, but just take my word on it because I don't feel like doing a deep investigation. It's 3 to 4 years on average if you make it that far. You know, it's like 2% of the NBA is stars. The rest of them niggas is like Beyonce and Neo. Replaceable to the left, to the left. These is millions of NBA players. Only 400 or so make it to the rosters in the NBA. So with all that being said, do niggas really like that shit or do niggas feel really compelled? Because we would then reflect and say, oh, you're a basketball player, you got it figured out. You know, but then they be doing crazy shit. They be going to jail, they be selling drugs, you be like, damn, I thought you was in the NFL. Why you going out sad? Only to say people who have financial success can still experience limitations and dissatisfaction. So the normal ways that people will deal with the energy in the summertime is to go out, have a good time, post some pictures on IG, let motherfuckers know that you living in your best life. Like, how would you even fucking know? You have no idea. You're just saying that, and it's cool. Keep the intention alive, but at the same time, what is your reflection on the fact of your light within? Because when we also deal with Gemini, we're also dealing with shadow. I told you it's a million implications when you're talking about Gemini because the mind is all. If you don't address your soul, if you don't address the light within, then let me introduce to you all of the reasons that you feel like life is against you. Let me introduce to you all of the feelings that you feel negative about, all of your insecurities and your confusions and your lacks, and the fact that you only got $20 in your bank account. Let me introduce to you why, nigga. You figuring that life is against you. You never acknowledged your soul. Because when you acknowledge your soul, when you love your soul, you're also entering to the paradigm of the creative. And the creative can manifest as a landscaping business, nigga. It can manifest as a sewage cleaning company. It can manifest as a cleaning company. It to be a creative does not necessarily mean that you got to shuck and jive or get a recording contract. You could have a storefront. You could have a restaurant. You could open a used car sales shop. You could fucking be a nurse. It's so many ways that the creative will express itself through your life, but it will utilize your skills, talents, abilities, and morphosize it into a huge success for you, all because you recognized it. The bookstore owner also told me, Howard Stern, he's one of the greatest radio people in the world. He come into my store. Howard Stern meditates every day. Say what you want about him, but billionaire basically meditates every day. Niggas be having $100 in their bank account. Like, I don't even really know how to meditate. This meditation shit is hard. I feel like it's hard to be trying to figure out how to you get paid, you spend your money on your bills, and you got to figure out how to make it over the next 2 weeks. In 2024, niggas is living like that. Niggas don't got no passive income, nothing coming. It's just that paycheck, and then it's gone, and then back to work. Hopefully I can hopefully I can finagle something, get a payday loan, do all of this weird shit, and all you had to do is fucking meditate. Reflecting on the light within itself, because even if you're a quadrillion millionaire, you're not going to be happy. And I promise you, the people that are most successful in their life is because they meditated and followed their soul. I promise you and guarantee you. So when we also deal with this energy, we're also representing an opportunity. So the personal introductory inventory to just be in the energy of the new moon is just to be grateful for your soul, be aware of your mindsets and moods, and accept where you are physically, because at the inner soul level, you have everything you need. And so if you fucked up, I mean, you really fucked up and you can't tell left from right, sit and meditate for hours. Okay? Meditate for hours, relax your body. You don't got shit to do. You don't got no money. So yeah, Spirit have put you in this position so you could now meditate. One's in the chat. I want to start saying clock that. I like that. Like, I know it's sassy. But clock that is good. I like that. I've been hearing that Gen Zs on TikTok say clock that. And I'm like, ugh, do I want to add it? I'm thinking about adding it. So let's talk about, of course, I'm not going to go through the whole article in the video. You have to subscribe to the Substack to do that. I ain't that goofy. I want to talk about the nakshatra. Punar Vasu. Punar Vasu, Sanskrit, is the return of the light. The return of the light that is within you. It symbolizes a rebirth within you. It's also auspicious. So, one's in the chat if your ass been kind of getting kicked for the past year and a half or so. I mean, a little light tapping of the buttocks. A friendly tap on the arse. I mean, it's good, but your ass is a little sore. Pause. Saturn been Saturn. You know, he been teaching us them lessons. You know, one's in the chat. I mean, I kind of be getting my ass kicked a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, a little bit. It feel like, you know, God like square up, like he slap boxing me. Like, you know, I'm a little brother. You like, you know, what slap box, little nigga? He ain't trying to hurt me. He not trying to hurt me. But it's like, get your shit together, little nigga. That's how God is right now with me. Oh man. And however, this energy is supposed to bring a shift to that slap boxing. You know how you kind of get tired of God slap box, your brother slap boxing with you. You're like, all right, I quit. You're like, no. All right, I quit. Stop, mom. You're like, all right, stop. All right, I quit, little nigga. You got it. That's what this energy is like. It's like God stopping and slap boxing you. You learn your lesson. Whatever lesson you learned, did you learn it? Right? More or less, for me, the lesson that I've learned is to not overlook the spiritual world, no matter what I'm going through. Right? No matter the circumstance, do not prioritize the circumstance over the channel. And this has been a progression over getting a flat tire, meeting my business partner, so forth and so on. Right? It's just been a progression of no matter what circumstance you're in, spirit is still in control. It's best if you recognize that. Recognize it within yourself. Also understand, you know, another aspect of this energy is like it's a privilege to be spiritual. It's a privilege to be psychic. So, like, if I'm going through hell, God slapboxing me, I'm starting to like lose it a little bit. So, it's not to say that doing the spiritual work is inconsequential. In reference to Drake, I feel that is a huge resource to his success. My spiritual knowledge, my ability to conjure, to ritual, to candle, to herb, to tea, to meditate myself out of some shit, my spiritual knowledge base has benefited me. Okay? So when we talk about the spiritual truth that we are, that is a benefactor. That is a good thing. So when we are prioritizing other things, God will slap back you. Get back on course. Get back into your spiritual shit. Because I'm in the mode of fasting, in the mode of burning herbs, in the mode of being consistent. and have been doing it, oh nigga, I feel great. That's oh yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Give me more of this. Like, not even like more or less, like to me, it's just like eating before 3 and not eating no more and not even really having no cravings for real, but just exercising, doing the hour of cardio, like that, like, oh yeah, give me more of that. Shit that I was kind of scared of that I didn't want to do for real subconsciously, even though mentally I'm like, you should fast, you should do more cardio. But it's like, yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. Looking as nope, do it today. Okay, cool. So in the space of like doing that, I get it, and everything is everything, right? So the more that if you don't exercise, don't lose weight, and you just kind of just in your own personal vibe, but you also mentally out of it, one goes to say the more that you improve your body, the more your mental will improve. And the hard part about Gemini is that you got to be totally self-sufficient. You got to be the best version of yourself. And you know, in this world of processed food, processed relationships, processed homes, you know, a lot of times our mom just had a fun night. We just entered into the world like with no structure, no nothing. Like this world is crazy, but above and beyond all of that shit, you have a soul. So if you can reflect on your soul and equate it to positive experiences, don't just say, oh, I'm doing my soul work and life is kicking me in the ass. I feel like doing my soul work, it should be God kicking me in the ass. No. Getting your ass kicked is when you're not doing spiritual work. Because why would I do spiritual work? Why? Wouldn't I do spiritual work if it was beneficial? And you know, Drake not going to tell you that he's reading Madame Blavatsky, but trust me, I know he do. Anyways, another interesting energy, because when we look at the tarot card of the new moon, is going to be the Lovers. Even though Cancer is that experience of love, Gemini is the mental aspects of love. And so when we are representing love in the context of Gemini, it is unconditional love because Gemini also rules the thymus in medical astrology. One second. And when you think about the thymus gland, you're also talking about the heart chakra, and a balanced heart chakra is one that loves unconditionally. So, why most people don't ever reach the heart chakra is because they're loving conditionally. Some people can't help it. It's just in their DNA. That's just what they're going to do. But understand that love is not conditional. So, when we are in a space of relationships, some of us are in relationships, some of us are out of relationships, quite frankly. However, there is a mode to understanding relationships, whether you're in it or out it. And it's simply by removing all intelligence or removing all consciousness. It is a complete submission to that person, right? And it's good because that person is doing the same thing for you. So if you're in a relationship, this is a good time to get closer. But how does one get closer? It's through an ego death. Like the orgasms come more intense the more that you become one. Counterintuitive is how sex becomes boring the more you are with a person. But when we're talking about Tantra, where we're not in a space where the longer we deal with each other, the more we judge each other, the more we dislike each other, the more we get into a space of familiarity, breeds contempt. No, true love is both people embracing and accepting and being in a blissful state of consciousness because they both have released the ego. So most relationships aren't even in the qualifications of love. Most relationships are two people going half on the rent, or one person paying the rent and the other person living rent free. Can we clock that? Come on, man. Can we clock that? Yes or no? This is a safe space. In your relationship, do you feel like you can let all your guards down and be completely you? Can your partner let his guards down and be completely him or her? We're talking about complete abandonment of the ego. That is the concept of the lovers, because y'all two didn't even bring yourselves into the company of one another. It was actually spirits. The spirit brought y'all together in the first place. So the understanding and the understanding of the next deacon from the the 10 of swords is everybody that your mama and daddy in your social circle forced you to be around because you lived in goddamn Fort Worth, Texas. So everybody on the west side of Fort Worth, Texas is your family. That's the 10 of swords. The 2 of cups is a complete stranger from another side of the damn world that y'all so happened to meet because y'all was in school and y'all took the same phlebotomy class or some shit, and y'all just found this profound love for one another, almost like y'all had known each other forever. That was the spirit saying y'all two need to be together because y'all represent the same soul. So how do y'all consummate y'all union? By ego death, by releasing the ego, because it's not like y'all was brought together because you was a dime piece, or because your hair was long, or because you wore some Air Force Ones that was crispy. That didn't bring y'all together. What brought you together was the spirit. Now, when you look at this card, it clearly elucidates this reality. If you look at the background of the Lover's card, you see the two people representing polar opposites, but you also see the soul in the background, or God. You see Cupid. You also see the ancestors, his ancestors, my ancestors, her ancestors. All of these energies are working together to bring y'all two together. You know what the problem is? You bring ego into the relationship. You don't deserve a bitch like me. You don't deserve this. I'm too good to you. Do you know that I just picked up your dirty drawers off the floor? All I'm asking you to do, Tyrone, this is all I'm asking you to do. Put the drawers in the hamper. Is that too bad? Is that too much to ask? I put the hamper there so you can put clothes in it. I get off work. I'm tired. You think I want to look at your dirty drawers, Tyrone? Do you think I want to leave? Listen, this ain't working. Because if I'm like, let's imagine this, Tyrone, 20 years down the line. You think I want to be picking up your drawers still? You don't listen to me. And see, I can't deal with somebody that just won't follow simple instructions. This is not going to work for me, Tyrone. But you remember that psychic we went to that said we are the same soul, we are one, we got a kid together? Tyrone, I don't care. I want to be happy, and this isn't working. So please leave. I pay the rent here. Tyrone, I don't care. You don't work. I don't care. I'm not picking up no more draws. Never again. But we have the same soul. We supposed to. Don't make me call my brother and my daddy. Do not make me call my brother and my dad. Bye. What is that? That's ego. Ego is telling you you can do better. You need a different nigga. Your soul is telling you we need to work with each other. like we can get to him, but you don't even have a relationship with me yet. So it's hard for me to even educate you on how to move and maneuver through this relationship because you don't think that God is in the background. You don't think Cupid is in the background. You don't think your ancestors in the background. You don't see none of these energies. None of these energies. All you see is that fine light-skinned man. Knowing you got a thing for wavy hair, light-skinned dudes, and you thinking that's all that it is. No, it's actually very intensely spiritual. You got your daemons, right? Your imaginary friends co-conspiring. You know, it's a song that you will sing about the love of your life that everybody can sing. All you have to do is meditate and think on it. And that is your soul, but your soul is reference to another individual in the world. You can do this spiritual work and you will magnetize and attract your ultimate soulmate. Or you can get a wig, put some lipstick on, throw on some leggings, and walk downtown and meet a nigga that's gonna crack and leave in the next 2 weeks. However you want to play it is cool, but it is a spiritual way to manifest or even to repair or even to deeply connect with the guy that you already got or the girl that you already have. So most people is not going to deal with the spiritual modalities in reference to relationship, but that's what this new moon and energy is representing. To be in love, you must be out of the ego. Period, point blank. In 1 Corinthians 15:31, it says, I die daily. Meaning that the ego death or ego dissolution isn't something that you do once because you took 15 grams of psilocybin. The ego death is what Howard Stern does every day, meditating every day. That man got a $500 million empire. I would just I'm not even going to lie. My first instincts, if you told me I got 500 milli, to get about 5 baddies in a hot tub, like a rotation of fruits and vegetables, like high quality fibers that's going to keep me sexually potent. Just probably just going to be cycling through them, just have like a wild ass orgy for like a month. Not going to lie. If I got 500 million, I'm probably going to spend that first month in an orgiastic ritual of gratitude to the gods and goddesses. I'm not going to lie. Why would I lie? I'm telling the truth today. What would you do if you had $500 million? Save the homeless? Hey, congratulations. Me, I'm going to try to figure out where the hose is at. Anyways, the verse emphasizes the need for daily ego death process to stay in the cosmic flow when you are consistent with your spiritual practice. So it's meditate, but it's also meditate every day. Like meditation, like love, are just words now. Oh, I do. Have you been meditating? Hood. I just kind of been, kind of caught up into some shit, kind of like, got, right? Like, no, I don't know. every day. That's why we're doing the daily energy readings. That's the purpose of the daily energy reading, is to imply that spirituality must be consistent or it doesn't matter. It's not about an epic rise or an epic fall. It's about the consistent approach to spiritual development. When you are consistent, everything takes place. If you do it once in a while, it's basically nothing. So if I'm posting videos every once in a while, the the messaging is not clear. I want to have a clear message. And it's CNN every day, it's HBO every day, it's all of these programmings every day that they're gonna program your ass every day. The same way is that we're gonna talk about this spiritual development every day. One has to exist with the other. All right. Now, and if it's my role to talk about spiritual shit every day, then that's just gonna be my role. That's just what I'm gonna do. And I'll let them talk about goddamn basketball every day, first take every day, NFL countdown, all this shit every day. And then I'm like, the spirit, I gotta kind of come like once a week because I don't want to overdo it. I'm really not overdoing it when I get into my reflection and meditation, because we need to get an understanding and overstanding about this shit consistently or it don't work. That's the message that's been instilled in me, and that's the message that I'm pushing. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like over since like a month ago, it's been like, yeah, you got to be way more consistent than you've been. And that's kind of been the fuel, right? Another concept of Gemini, I told you it's 1,000,001 implications to Gemini. You could probably think of some yourself. It's all a wave. Life is a wave, to and fro, ebb and flow. So the external is what we're going to experience. The internal is the push. Like, say, for instance, I'm dribbling a ball. When I push down on the ball and it hit the ground, it bounces back up higher. If I push down hard, it's going to bounce up higher. So the concept is, if you are innerly guided, your forward momentum is going to be it's going to be like a cosmic wave. And people will say, damn, how'd you manifest all of that so fast? Like, what did you do? How'd you get to where you got so quickly? It's because you did that meditation so seriously. You went back so seriously. You like took it like a catapult or a boomerang. You pulled that shit back and it went boom, it went far, right? So what's the counterintuitive narrative that people will tell you? If you just work hard. So that's like a wave that is constantly moving forward. What happens to a wave that constantly moves forward? It reaches the shore and it dies out. So the sustaining of the wave pattern is an ebb and a flow. It's a freak to it. It's, imagine breathing is an inhale, exhale. Sex is a in and out, right? Imagine if you just kept going in, and like you have to go out a little bit to go in. And if I bring it all the way back, and got to think about it, it's all a wave. So even the wave it falls into a deeper implication, 1,000,001 implications when we talking about Gemini, okay? The deeper implication to this energy is life and death. And really understanding that death is not death like we think of it. Death represents the spiritual world and the material world, and the ebbs and the flows is almost like day and night, because night dreams into the spiritual world, and then we rotate back into the waking world, and we're in this oscillation or wave in between the spiritual world and the material world. Understand and overstand this. When you are in the flow, see, the flow isn't always forward movement. The flow is in the oscillation of the wave, the in and out pattern. when you are into your flow, where you're able to sleep consciously. So you're burning sages before you go to sleep. You're burning herbs before you go to sleep. You're listening to things or you're meditating yourself into sleep. You're not just falling asleep. You're going into the dream portal, into the spiritual world to figure out what work you need to do in that realm. That mode will bring you back into the waking world where you wake up and it's either a schedule or a plan. And so when we're talking about all of these particular energies, it is like learning life in its totality. So if I know that I'm going to transition at a certain point, I'm going to say the counterintuitive narrative is to say, man, I'm about to die. This is sad. Boo hoo. Right? But if I know that, what is being sad going to do? Is it going to prevent me from transitioning? No. So, therefore, if I know that it's going to happen, what is the course action for living? It is enjoyment and bliss, i.e., the Gemini card, the lovers. Love is enjoyment and bliss. Trauma bonds is the shit that y'all be talking about when y'all be in relationships with y'all baby mama. It's a trauma bond. Love is the enjoyment and the bliss that comes from the oscillation of the spiritual world and the material world, the reality of being in it. When you begin to be in the reality and not in the neighborhood or in the world, I'm on the west side of Fort Worth. No, you're not. No, you're not. That is a matrix. They named that shit Fort Worth. And the creations called the house and the street is the same spiritual substance that you have within yourself. You could be in many different places at once if you knew how powerful you were. And literally be in different places. Because spiritually, you are in the body, you are not the body. So when we get into these deeper understandings, we prioritize bliss, love, and truth because the one reality is a succinct reality. So one level of this is being married and saying, oh, I love this person, but if I told her I wanted to go have sex with her sister, she gonna kick my ass. And another level is saying, I love this lady, and my true reality is that I want to be polygamous, and she gonna be like, cool, that's what I'm on too. Or I understand why you want to be polygamous, or being the fact that you are being polygamous don't make me hate you. Or I don't know about polygamy, I don't agree with polygamy, but I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to understand. I understand that polygamy is a thing, so I wouldn't say that I'm above and beyond the concept of polygamy because I'm me, or whatever the case may be. Because 10 times out of 10, your girl got mad because you cheated, right? You cheated on me. But the reality is, did you, or are you polygamous? Different conversation, but whatever situation you're in the love reality, because y'all already had y'all lovers. Y'all just chose to be mad at them. Y'all chose to be angry at them because of the ego. So in the context of love, in the context of relationship, is not to say that you kiss ass, but it is the concept of learning to love yourself, because everything is everything. We're on a spinning ball traveling through space. So let's not take it too seriously, right? And that's what got me to say, like, as I was doing this, oh, it's so crazy. I'm just now putting this together. That is crazy, bro. All right. So as I'm researching this article, right? As I'm researching this article, I'm hearing not everybody dies, but not everybody lives. Not everybody dies, but not everybody lives. That's that Drake line off that Nicki Minaj song, Moment for Life, right? That's what's playing in my head. So I made this sound.
Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
Time to tap in now.
Like I made that before I even went to the bookstore. I made this like 3 days ago for the video and all of that. But it's just so crazy to me that I go to the bookstore and the bookstore owner is like, you know who was in this store? Drake. Drake is really psychic. And I just felt like, it's an old dude, he kind of like goofy, aloof. I'm like, boy, what spirit is possessing you right now? Like, who is possessing you right now to say what you are saying? But yeah.
Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
Time to tap in now.
Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. That touched me. And that was the motivation for writing this article. I'm ready to live. I'm ready to experience. I'm ready to travel. I'm ready to put in the work. And I don't care. This is my mindset. Nothing is going to stop me. I'm all the way up, right? That's how I feel. Like, I don't care. I don't like anybody that got drama in my life. I avoid that shit like the plague. I don't deal with drama because I want to live a good life. I'm not going to let your drama interfere with me having a good life. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to maintain your mindset and lose mine. I'm not going to do that. Earlier in the year, I had an analogy on how to lift people up. You got to figure out a way to lift people up without them pulling you down. Because if they pull you down, nobody can help anybody. So I'm all cool for helping you help yourself, but I'm not helping you so much that I lose myself. And all of this to say, my motivation is just because I want to live a good life and I want to be around other people that live a good life. Because at the end of the day, the prostitute and the doctor, they all going to die the same way. They all going, their heart going to stop beating. They going to transcend out of the body, and that'll be that. What did you experience while you was down here? Did you enjoy the moments? Did you do what you wanted to do? Or was you trying to figure out somebody else's mental capacity? Somebody else's emotional vulnerability, not being able to trust somebody because they telling you, oh, I got to go somewhere. I'll be right back. I'm about to go to see my baby dad. I'm going to be going for about 3 hours, but I'll be right back. I'm going to cut off my location. Don't worry about where I'm going, though. I got you. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about something much more arcane and something much more ancient, right? As we stated earlier, Gemini is just a Latin word for twins. Twins are explicit to the ego and the soul. So when a new moon is in Gemini, the idea is to understand your ego and your soul. Your soul needs your ego. So the things that you can do in reference to the ego is improve it. You shouldn't be watching Netflix. You shouldn't be, you should just throw the fucking TV out the window. But hood, I live on the 5th floor. Great. It'll break and it won't work again. Throw the TV out the window. Right? Improve, spend as much time throughout the day improving yourself. Acknowledge all the harmful things that you do and stop doing it. Because the better that you treat the ego, the easier it is for the soul to express itself. The soul cannot express itself because you eat too many processed foods, too many fried foods, things of that nature. All of this represents your body, and your body represents your endocrine system, and your endocrine system is the specific scientific way that your soul speaks through you. So when you are looking a certain type of way and you're made in the image of God, God is looking at you like, I ain't make you like that. I gave you 1 chin, not 2. I gave you 1 belly, not 6. I gave you 1 back, not 4. What is them, angel wings? You ain't an angel. You ain't make it to that hierarchy. Oh, that's fat. Oh, sorry. Thought you was Mikey L for a second. Anyways, I ain't make you like this. Go to the gym. No, put the work in. Stop eating that food. Right? The ego, and the reason we say this is because the soul wishes to express itself, and the ego can't actually be at its highest vibration and frequency based upon the things that we intake. You eating fried chicken in 2024 might have been cool in 1967. 2024, that's how many years of cloning? 70, 80, 90, 10. That's 60 years of cloning. Meaning that the chicken that you was eating in 1960 is basically an alien now. So get off the meat so your ego can vibrate high. Watch when you at work or taking a ride. Damn, I always forget his name. Jaylen Brown did an interview. Who did Jaylen Brown do an interview with, y'all? Y'all conscious. Y'all should know. Jaylen Brown interview. Should just pop up. Hopefully it just pop up. Yeah, KT the arts degree. Mind you, this is an NBA MVP. Finals MVP. Just won the world championship. Talking about how he changed his life once he started going vegan. He had a clarity once he started going vegan. So just don't think I'm just the one that's just saying the shit just to be saying it. This nigga won the finals MVP. You didn't even get employee of the month, so you can understand the differences. So we got to get into an energy of like, if I want to be employee of the month, I'm going to start with my greens. Once again, the full article will be on the site. What I want to do to end the video, though, is explain the new moon and Gemini worksheet. It's available to paid White Rabbit subscribers, but if you take notes, you could just tap in yourself. But the purpose of this actual new moon and Gemini worksheet is to tap into Gemini, but also tap into the tarot card for Gemini, which is the Lovers. And as you begin to love, you'll also love is a concept of empathy, being aware of your inner feelings and how you love people unconditionally. Because in this world, all love is conditional based on what you have or don't have. But when we talk about the love of Gemini, which is the love between the ego and the soul, your soul loves you unconditionally, but you give your baby daddy hell, meaning you're outside of the energy. So in order to tap into the energy, to be in love means to be out of the ego. So one of the ways to be out of the ego is a very simple thing to do. Where does your empathy lie? It could be Justin Bieber, Lil Wayne. Who do you love unconditionally? And keep it in the romantic sense. Don't just start talking about your kids. If it is your kids, if you love your kids unconditionally, I'm going to say use this exercise to talk about your baby mama or your baby daddy. Because that's who created your kids. So let's use your baby daddy for an example. Write down how much you care for them at the deepest spiritual level. Just how much you love them, how much you want to see them succeed, how you want to treat them, cater to them, love them, not how they love you, how you love them. We're talking about empathy, and empathy is something that you have to take complete control over. What happens is you say you're an empath, and then this is your excuse to say, oh, I couldn't be with him because I'm an empath. I feel his negative emotions. Really, the empathy is your ability to love unconditionally. If he does have problems, then you learn to love those problems. I mean, you don't have to love anything about a person, but when you are cohabitating, married, have kids with, I mean, you done fuck them, so why not have empathy for them, right? Why not do a spiritual exercise that really has nothing to do with him or her? It has everything to do with you, because your unconditional love is not a requisite of who you love unconditionally. If it was, then it wouldn't be unconditional. It would be conditional, because it would have to be that person. That person is a condition. Unconditional love is you writing a long, heartfelt love letter to your baby daddy. Yes, the same baby daddy that you said you would never talk to or speak to again because he cheated on you with your sister. And you in jail right now doing a murder one bid because you killed them, but at the same time, write about how much you love him in the afterlife, because he's still with you in that jail cell. He love you. Death don't even kill love. So I mean, when you are able, to be empathetic, a real empath, to love unconditionally, now you don't have to express this love to your baby daddy or your baby mama. This is not for them. This is for you. So the next question comes: what emotions come up when you reflect on your spiritual empathy for your lover? How does it feel to be in the space where you love unconditionally? Mentally, new moon is in Gemini, dealing with air, dealing with the mind. Mentally, the card, and it could easily relate to Cancer because that's the next sign, and Cancer has a lot of love energy, but we also can relate to Gemini being full love energy based upon the tarot card. What emotions come up when you reflect on your empathy, on your unconditional love? This makes it to be all about you. If you can key in on these emotions, this is your intention over the next 28 days, which become a magnet. So how do you work with intentions over the next 28 days? Write it down. Write how you want to feel. Write exactly what you want. Exactly what you want and how it would make you feel. Concentrate on how it feels. If you forget on day 10 or at a quarter moon because you're going through a crisis, you can refer to the worksheet available on the Substack. You can refer to the worksheet and say, see, I'm tripping. I'm supposed to be in this mental state. This crisis got me all out of whack. Let me reflect back to my intention. This is key to manifesting. Okay. So I'm just sharing all of this to those who want to just simply get into the science, right? And the worksheet will be on the Substack, available for those who paid, but available for the free tomorrow, like around 10. So you could either wait till then or get it now, join the Substack. And with all that being said, I really do hope that y'all enjoyed this educational entertainment we call the daily energy readings here on the channel. The article will be on my Substack, also known as the White Rabbit. I'm an owner and operator of two businesses, Columbian Exchange, White Rabbit Psychedelics. Links of those companies or communities are in the description box. And yeah, man, that has been my share. But yeah, hopefully you guys took from that. Hopefully you're getting into the mode of meditation and also understanding the necessity of being consistent and diligent with your meditation. And yeah, like take this energy seriously. Take this new moon seriously, because it's all referencing planetary influential energy that allows us to get what we want out of life. And that's what I want for you, to get what you want out of life, but also understanding that It's not about going forward. Sometimes you need to go back into yourself. That will then be that push that will propel you forward, man. This has been another edition of the Daily Energy Reading where we talk about the new moon. I'm your host, the Hood Mystic.
Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
Time to tap in now.
I hope you got your mind right, money right, and ready for war.
Mind right, money right, yeah. Ready for war. Nigga, we ready for y'all.
You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic.
I fucks with y'all on a spiritual level. I really, really mean it. And I hope y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Hope y'all, if y'all eating barbecue, you throw that shit in the trash. Okay. No reason you should be eating pigs because the Gregorian calendar said July 4th. Just rebuke all animal meats and enjoy your day to the best of your ability. I'm the Hood Mystic, representing www.hoodmystic.com. Utilize all of the links, references, and sources in the description because you need to do the work too. I'm just providing you the tools and tricks that I use to get through this matrix. Hopefully it benefits you in some form, in some way. From my heart to yours, from my family to yours. Peace. There's been another episode. It's been real, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.
You are traveling with the Hood Mystic. Time to tap in now. You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer.